welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing, topping our newscast. As the new administration wraps up the selection of agency heads, one nominee is facing scrutiny, not just by senators tasked to confirm his nomination, but also by the courts. The company's CEO, who took Motor Vehicles Bureau nominee Lawrence Olive to court, responds to Monday's progress in his nomination. News 2's April Knight has an update.
The nomination for Lawrence Olive to head the Motor Vehicles Bureau is moving forward in spite of a defamation lawsuit hanging over his head. On February 12th, Olive stated before the Rules and Judiciary Committee that BizVI, the company hired by the Bureau to roll out its new Real ID system, left the Virgin Islands without fulfilling its end of a $2 million contract. Olive also stated that the company is under federal investigation. BizVI CEO Syed Gilani sued for defamation, saying they have indeed fulfilled their contract and that the government owes them $60,000 for the maintenance phase of the project. On Monday, 1 month later, Olive faced the same committee but did not recant his story in spite of the lawsuit. He also said he's not taking it personally against Gilani.
I don't even know the person who is the owner of the company. If he passes in here right now, I wouldn't know if that's the guy. So there's no vengeance there. Me as a leader, me as an individual who is taking over a department has the right to go through contracts.
Gilani declined to comment until after Monday's hearing. On Tuesday, he told News2 that he respects the committee's decision, but he is aware, he said, that Olive has affirmed his false allegations. Gilani said he's moving forward with the litigation to protect the reputation of BizVI. Reporting for News2, I'm April Knight.
And count on News2 to keep you updated. A settlement agreement between the United States government and Total Petroleum Corporation affects 4 gas stations in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Violations levied against Total Puerto Rico alleges that some 31 gas stations in Puerto Rico and 4 in the VI contain underground storage tanks that hold large quantities of gasoline and can cause environmental damage if allowed to leak. Total Puerto Rico has agreed to pay $426,000 in civic penalties, work on compliance that would cost about $1 million, and undertake an environmental project estimated to cost $600,000. Specifically, this environmental project is a next-generation technology that will enable Total Puerto Rico to rapidly identify and respond to actual or potential gas leaks at its gas stations with actively operating underground storage tanks. In other news, Dale Loomis, 57 of Oregon, pleaded guilty today in district court on St. Croix to 1 count of failure to register as a sex offender. As part of his plea, Loomis admitted that he was convicted of sodomy in the first degree, a sex offense involving a minor in Oregon in 1991. Court records indicate that on or about October 23, 2013, Loomis traveled from Oregon to St. Croix. From that time through August 19, 2014, Loomis knowingly failed to register as a sex offender on St. Croix in violation of the Sex Offender Registration and Notification Act. Loomis is facing a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. School is out at Alexander Henderson Elementary School. That doesn't mean no class for the more than 400 students there. Instead, the displaced students will continue to be split between 4 schools in Frederickstead, while education officials hurry to make repairs on campus. Students complained of skin irritation and sore throats back in October and again recently in February. Education Commissioner designee Sharon McCollum told the Daily News on Monday she expects the school to reopen after Easter. In the meantime, the department is retiling a floor, patching walls, and removing lockers. Students were divided by age groups and will continue to attend classes at the Charles Emmanuel, Claude Omarco, Arthur Richards, and Eulalie Rivera schools. This afternoon, Governor Kenneth Mapp appointed Public Works Commissioner designee Gustav James and Marvin Pickering, Director designee for the Bureau of Internal Revenue, to the Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority Governing Board in accordance with Title 30, Section 103, Chapter 5 of the Virgin Islands Code. The governor appointed also Simon B. Jones Hendrickson, policy advisor, Juan Figueroa Sr., director designee for the Virgin Islands Lottery, Catherine Hendry Esquire, commissioner designee of the Department of Labor to the Economic Development Authority Board. Governor Mapp also appointed Haldane Davies, vice president for business development and innovation with the University of the Virgin Islands, to the Economic Development Authority Board for a term commencing April 1st, 2015. Well, from the state of cemeteries to the need for more sidewalks, senators raised several concerns Monday with the nominated Commissioner of Public Works, and soon residents will be able to do the same using a new interactive website to lodge complaints. Here's more.
A Senate hearing on Monday turned into a public works wish list as senators from each district asked specific questions about road improvements. Gustav James, an engineer with more than 40 years of experience, was ushered through the Committee on Rules and Judiciary with praise.
You do have my support, again, not because of all the other affiliations, but because of your qualifications and your care.
But the conversation was largely driven by long overdue road repairs.
It was promised to us that it would be repaired in 2009. I have grayed and wrinkled and still not repaired.
We had Scenic Road East on board for a long time. That needs to be done.
James said infrastructure improvements are given priority based on traffic and urgency.
The method we use really is the importance of the road, how many vehicles have to transit that road, how critical the need is, how bad the situation is. In some cases, a road might not be as highly traveled, but the situation might be such that it becomes the highest priority because it's so bad.
And residents will soon be able to chime in on the state of the territory's roads. Department of Public Works will be creating a new interactive website that allows motorists to alert the department of repairs that need to be made.
The motorists can go to a map on the site and identify the location and possibly even post a picture.
Michael Nisman, News 2.
Thanks for that report, Michael. According to Gustav James, the new Public Works website will be up and running in 30 days. Turning our attention overseas, the University of Oklahoma on Tuesday expelled 2 students accused of playing a leadership role in a fraternity's racist video. University President David Boren issued a statement saying the investigation into the Sigma Alpha Epsilon video was continuing. Boren says the students had created a hostile environment for students and the university community. The university did not immediately release the names of the students. The Oklahoma Daily, the university's student newspaper, was among publications identifying one of the chant's leaders as freshman Parker Rice. It was not clear if Rice was expelled. Boren has been working tirelessly to repair damage to the university since the video went viral on Sunday. Keeping our eye on the economy, here's the New York Stock Exchange with our stock market watch. The Dow, NASDAQ, S&P all down. The Dow 332, NASDAQ 82, S&P 35. Coming up on News 2, here's a VI history quiz. He lost in the race for governor to Melvin Evans in 1970, but eventually became governor of the Virgin Islands in 1975 until 1978. Who are we talking about? We'll be right back. The very serious issue of voting rights for American citizens of the U.S. territories was injected with humor on HBO's Last Week with John Oliver. The quasi-news segment began with a recent speech on the floor of the House by VI Delegate to Congress Stacey Plaskett. News 2's Monica Jonigan has more.
The 50th anniversary of the March on Selma was a perfect stage for the former Daily Show fake newsman John Oliver to remind his HBO audience of an inconvenient truth.
More than 4 million people live in the U.S. territories. More than 98% of them are racial or ethnic minorities. And the more you look into the history of why their voting rights are restricted, the harder it is to justify.
Congress had given us, members of Congress, an hour to discuss voting issues, discuss Selma, discuss many other opportunities. And I decided that I was going to take that opportunity and use it to really highlight the issues that are relevant to the people of the Virgin Islands.
Congresswoman Plaskett says her office was contacted by the show's producer, but she was unsure about the outcome.
I was very nervous. I was really concerned because I take this matter so seriously and then someone could make light of it or even make a farce out of it. And so I was so pleasantly surprised when he saw how serious it was and determined to make it a serious piece with a bit of jokes in there as well. But the jokes were not on us. In many instances, in my mind, the joke was on how ridiculous it is for the United States and the federal government to continue in this manner.
Thanks for that report, Monica. The Rotary Club of the Virgin Islands met last Thursday at Room with a View restaurant, Bluebird's Castle Hotel on St. Thomas. The special guest speaker was WAPA's CEO Hugo Hodge, who gave the group an update on the utility.
So the conversion of the units allows them to run on 3 types of fuel: oil, propane, or natural gas. And they can switch on the fly. And while in return for Vital's upfront funding of the project, we will source primary fuel from them of propane for the extent of the contract. When that's complete, you'll have the option here, we'll have the option here in the territory of looking at markets, seeing which one is most affordable, sourcing one for 6 months, 12 months, 3 months, whatever makes the most sense. And for the first time, we'll have a system that has actual options and optionality to how we source and procure our fuel for generation.
This past weekend, the Virgin Islands EDA hosted the second in a series of small business camp weekend training programs at the Juan Louis Hospital's Cardiac Center. The 16-week free training program was conducted and will be conducted periodically on St. Croix by its instructor, Andrew Morrison, the president of Small Business Camp.
We are hosting the second small business camp with Mr. Andrew Morrison. We have a much larger crowd this time. We have a registered 120 participants this time. So it's a business boot camp weekend, basically, where the participants are coming to get all that information that they need to start their businesses, realize their dreams, start their nonprofits, and so we can get some entrepreneurial product happening here within the territory.
As we continue to recognize via History Month, we remember Cyril Emmanuel King. He was born in Frederiksted, St. Croix. He was best known for his political achievements, but he was also a member of the U.S. military and rose to the rank of sergeant. He was a member of the staff of U.S. Senators Hubert Humphrey for 12 years, conducted a government study that became the basis of grading various jobs in the system. He lost in the race for governor to Melvin Evans in 1970, but eventually became governor of the Virgin Islands in 1975 until 1978. The main airport on St. Thomas is named in his honor. Well, we continue to recognize Women's History Month as well. Governor Mapp and Lieutenant Governor Potter joined in celebration with Director Patrick Farrell of the Office of Veterans Affairs as they celebrate Women's History Month. A women's recognition event will be held where they will present Weaving the Stories of Women's Lives. They say the accounts of the lives of individual women are critically important because they reveal exceptionally strong role models who share a more expansive vision of what a woman can do. Presentations are as follows. On St. John, Friday, March 13th, 6 p.m. at St. Croix's Ursula Church. On St. Thomas, it's on March 16th, 6 p.m. at the Leonard Francis Armory in Estate Nazareth. On St. Croix, it's on March 17th, 6 p.m. at the Bromley Berkeley Post in Frederiksted. If you're just making plans for the weekend, here is a major event that you can put on your calendar. The University of the Virgin Islands is holding its annual Afternoon on the Green, and organizers say it's going to be bigger than ever.
Each year we try to make it bigger and better. We've been planning since September. The committee has been really working hard to really outdo ourselves. We are also going to be introducing our scholarship recipient because basically this is a fundraiser. Many people don't know that it's a fundraiser. It is for the Edward Thomas Volunteer Scholarship.
You can expect a whole lot of fun. I mean, number one, the food, that's pretty much the big item. I get a lot of entertainment, top-notch entertainment. We have cool session, brass, a classic car show. So we have right now committed over 30 cars that are going to be down there.
Afternoon on the Green Walk.
Thanks for that, Liza and Jacob. Be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.